Every entrepreneur has one. The moment you decide to start your own business, your story begins. And if you're like most business owners, your plan and your reality can end up being miles apart. Welcome to PTC TV and our series entitled The Journey. Each week, we will be talking to business owners about their business journey. Our hope is that by sharing these stories, others may find understanding, inspiration, and the will to succeed. So let me ask you, what's your story? So welcome to another edition of The Journey, brought to you by Pull the Chute. I'm your host, Jeff Cecil, and I am excited. We are here today in historic downtown Gallatin. If you've never been here, please come visit. It's wonderful with the downtown area here. But we're in a place called the Dive Bar Pilates Studio, and I'm excited to be here with Julie Riemenschneider. And she's the owner of the Dive Bar, and we're just going to spend a little time understanding why she started this and what her journey's been like. So, Julie, welcome to the show. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So before we get started, and I'm going to get comfortable here in this beautiful
absolutely.
couch, tell us a little bit about you. I mean, give us a little bit of background so we get to understand who you are as a person.
Yeah, so I was born and raised here in Gallatin.
Oh, wow,
yes,
that's great.
So I only moved out of Gallatin for 1 year and I came right back.
All right.
So, yeah, I've been here my whole life, and I've worked on the square for about 15 years now.
Really?
And then this came open. So I started here in, I guess I took over in July of last year.
July of last year, you took it over.
Yeah.
All right, so that's an interesting story, right? So it was already in place, and then you took it over. So there's got to be a story there somewhere.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
So at that point, in probably 2019, I was having a whole lot of health issues that were completely unexplained, and it was just, I was getting more tired and more sick. We couldn't figure anything out, and I was going to doctor after doctor, and we finally got some things figured out, and I came here, and it was the only thing that I could stick with and do. Everything else that I tried, I failed. Going to the gym, even just walking, like anything, it just took too much out of me.
Wow.
So I talked to the owner, and we came up with a program of where we needed to start, and then how to progress that. And I fell in love with it. I wanted to give it to everyone I knew. So after my first class, it was a free 30-minute class. I went home and told my husband that I was going to quit my job and teach Pilates. And he said, we need to slow down. You've had one free 30-minute class, and here I am today.
Great.
So
and here you are today as the owner.
Right. And I wasn't planning on that, but that's just everything fell into place. And that's where we are today.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So the studio itself, what are all the different activities that you can do here in the studio?
Okay. So we have Pilates. We've got mat Pilates and reformer Pilates. We have bar classes. We've got a circuits class, and we have yoga right now.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to dive a little deeper just because of my lack of knowledge here.
Yeah.
So Pilates mat seems somewhat explainable, but give me a little bit about that, and then we're going to jump into Pilates reformer. I don't know what that is at all.
Okay, so yeah, mat is going to be on the floor, and we go through a series of exercises. It always helps to strengthen the core. We do a lot of stretching. We do a lot of stuff with mobility and strengthening. Okay. So that is just basically using a mat on the floor with gravity. Okay. And then with the machines, that helps. We use straps and pulleys and wheels to kind of help facilitate those, and then do more moves that you wouldn't be able to do on the mat. Okay,
so we get more resistance from the machines, I'm
Sometimes,
assuming,
yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yep.
All right, that's great. And then, of course, you mentioned yoga. So help me understand the difference between yoga and mat Pilates.
So they are very similar, and especially in a lot of the moves and stuff. We focus on a lot of core. Okay. We also do some of the stretches and strengthening. They tend to stay in some poses a little bit longer. Okay. Where we just move through the exercises. We do probably 8 to 12 reps of each one. Okay. We take a little break and then we move to the next one.
Okay, got it. And then what's circuit? You mentioned something about a circuit.
Circuits is on Monday nights. What she does in that class is she gets your heart rate up and then she brings it down. So it's like little intervals that'll go up and down the whole class. Yep. And then she does some stretching and stuff at the end.
Oh, so, that's great.
Yep. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So how has it been taking over a business? Now, this is, you said you've been on the square 15 years. Yeah. obviously working for someone else, and now you're doing this. How has that transition been and the adjustment been for you?
Yeah, it's been wild. So I was the office manager, so I didn't think it would be that big of a transition, but it most certainly was. I had to learn everything from owning your own business and the things that go into that, and it really helped me like respect people that have their own businesses, right? Because when I went in over there, it was already set up and everything was already rolling. So it was pretty easy to kind of fall into that. But I've really enjoyed learning everything about owning your own business. And
well, there's a lot of pieces to that people don't think about, right?
Yes, right, absolutely.
And so it really it becomes a challenge sometimes to understand what that is. So what has been one of the biggest challenges for you?
Let's see. I guess getting the word out is probably the biggest challenge. I feel like I'm here a lot, and outside of here, I'm working on things, and I just don't have a lot of time to get out there and really show everybody what it's about. Because when they walk in, I feel like they look at these machines and they're intimidated, right? Sure. Like nobody knows what to do with them. So I guess just letting people know what that is and how you can use them. And of course, my youngest client here is 8, which is mine. All right. She started when she was 8, and then my oldest client's 74. So it's really anywhere in between, and there's always room to grow here and progress and get stronger. So I think that's the main thing, is when the older client came in, she didn't want to have anything to do with that. But once we got her on the machine and comfortable, she loved it. Oh, that's absolutely great. Loved it. Yeah, and that helps so much with them to help strengthen. So if, there's a fall, they can get themselves off the floor, or helps them with balance. So it helps with all kinds of stuff. And
if I remember, before we started recording this, you were talking about your mom, and your mom does this.
My mom does this. Yep, she comes twice a week, and she loves it.
Yeah, well, I think you were telling me recently something with the dog. She was able to get down with the dog.
Oh, no, it was the grandbaby.
Grandbaby,
the grandbaby, yes. The grandbaby was in the floor, and she wasn't even 1 at the time. Okay. But my mom likes to get on the floor with her and play, and she got up off of the floor without any pain, without any struggle, and it was a huge accomplishment for her. Great. And that's why I love this. Like, it's the little things. It's not, it's just I got to play with my daughter and not, or there's so many things. We use functional motion here, so a lot of things we do are real things that you do in life. Sit in chairs, stand up, we reach up, we rotate. So it's the little things that people accomplish.
And so the goal, as we're doing the Pilates, and you're a certified Pilates instructor, correct? Okay, that's what I thought. Is to really kind of loosen the joints, strengthen the joints, or all that above?
All of it, yeah.
All of it?
Yeah, we kind of do everything with the muscles and the joints, and flexibility and things like that. Yeah. Oh,
that's great. And so if people are trying to go through this and to get them on a regime, I mean, do you, as the previous owner did for you, you guys decided what you're going to do. Do you do that with people as they come in?
Absolutely. They'll fill out a form, excuse me, give me some basic information, and then we sit down and we talk, what are your goals, what do you want to do, and then we kind of come up with a little plan on something to help them accomplish those goals.
And so what does a plan like that look like? Just kind of give us a description if you could.
Well, if you have like an old injury that's bothering you, we'll go lighter on some things and heavier on some other. It's just so, everybody's body is different. Right. So there's so many different ways you can modify things and to fit everybody. So with my older clients, we go a little slower, right? And some of the younger ones will go faster. Okay. Some classes we get your heart rate up to help cardio. We jump on jump boards. Oh, wow. And then we have a line, which is just your normal strengthening and stretching. So the springs on there can definitely adjust for heavier or lighter. Okay. Sometimes heavier doesn't always mean harder. Sometimes it's actually opposite. So the lighter springs could be harder, not the heavy ones, right? Yeah. So
that's very interesting. Yeah. And so I would assume that it's open for men and women.
We're getting there. We are getting there, yes. It was opened women only.
Oh, really?
And I've just kind of kept it like that since I took over, but there is a big need for men to take Pilates. Yes. And I have gotten my husband in here.
Oh, yeah? Good.
Yes, and he loves it. He wasn't sure about it first. But he was sore for a few days after his first session and had a new respect, right, for Pilates.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody needs to balance and stretch and and strengthen. So.
Yeah, I remember my first time I did yoga, and second time I did it, and then the third I was like, okay, now I'm starting to feel better.
Yeah.
It took a few times to just do it because you're using, positions and muscles and joints that you don't normally use.
Yeah.
And the amazing part to me was, literally, you go to the gym, you work out, you sweat, right?
Yeah.
I would go to a yoga class, and I'd come back, and I'm drenched.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, how is that possible? Because everything's very slow moving, right?
Yep.
So it's a very interesting aspect of a different type of energy. So Pilates from itself and the dive bar itself is really, one of the things I always love is the health aspect of this. And so, how many times a week would you recommend people, and I know it depends on their system, but just on the average, what do you think they should be doing this?
I think the best is 2 to 3 times a week. Of course, if you come once, that's totally fine. I love that you're moving. And then we've got people that come almost every day. So it's a wide range, and it's just whatever fits with you. I always tell people to listen to their body. If they come 3 times a week and that's too much, then we back down to 2 until we can get back up to 3. It just really depends on the person, but I would say on average about 3 would be the best for you to start seeing results.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And so where do you want to take this? So you took it over about a year ago, let's say. So now you're into this. Where do you want, besides just adding more people, but what is your overall vision for this?
Oh man. I guess that's pretty much it. It's just to spread the word on Pilates and how much it benefits people and grow it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess that's a good question.
Think about, right? Yeah.
Well, and I always like to ask those questions just because it's like, where do you think you want to be? And so, for you, probably the first year has been figuring out the business, right?
Yeah.
And so that's been a little bit of struggle. But as things start to fall into place, I got to know you a little bit, and I think your heart is just to help people feel better.
Yeah, absolutely.
It helped you to feel better, right?
Yeah.
And so now to be able to share that, I think is a really, really wonderful thing.
And then maybe get to a bigger place so we can have more classes
there
and more
you go.
teachers. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. If people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that? Yeah,
they can text or call. So that number is 615-461-0662. Okay. Or they can email me. It's Julie@divebarandpilates.com.
Okay.
And but those are the easiest ways. You can message me on Facebook or Instagram.
Wonderful, love that.
Yeah, texting or calling is probably the best.
And so what's the normal setup? Like, I know you always like to get people in and get them to try their first one free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then after that, is it per class? Is it a subscription on a monthly basis? What's the setup?
We have both. So we do have a free class on Saturdays to kind of get brand new people in on the machines so they can get a feel of it before they jump into a class.
Okay.
Because a lot of times people don't like to jump in with everybody else kind of knowing what's going on. So we do a class on Saturdays right now to get everybody familiar and ask questions, and then they will have their first free class after that. And then you can buy the class, you can buy packages, or you can get a membership.
Okay, wonderful. And then the membership's just like kind of a monthly recurring kind of thing?
Yep.
Oh, great. That's awesome. Yep. Hey, Julie, thank you so much. Appreciate you doing this.
Thank you.
Man, this place is amazing. I love it.
Thank you so much.
And again, being in a historic district,
I love it.
The architecture is just so much fun.
Yes.
So much fun. But we're on the Gallatin Square again. If you get down here, go check it out. But we're excited that we're here, and we're excited what Julie's trying to do. Just being able to help people live healthy lives is a real important part of what we do, whether we're in business or whether we're just being normal people, just enjoying our jobs every day. So I would say give it a shot. Come into the dive bar, and of course we love this bar as always. Like a nice little fun tagline there. But we're excited that you're here. Thank you again for all those that follow us along and watch these shows. We're always excited to do these interviews. And whether it's local people or people anywhere in the United States, We always get to hear amazing stories from people. So their story is really the reason we do this. And hopefully it will inspire others, maybe others that are thinking about taking over a business or starting a business. Julie's done it, without knowing anything, and she's doing well. So if you're one of those people, please dive in or reach out to Julie and ask her how she did it. I think she'd appreciate that.
I would love it,
Again, thank you for watching as always. And until we talk again, stay safe and be healthy.